This video is the second part of surviving a long flight and focuses on the common problems and solutions from a nurse's perspective. This video is not a medical advice, but can be used to make your long flight a more comfortable experience. If you found this video helpful or useful in any way, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. Move along down to the body. Over here in the chest area, we're going to talk about cardiovascular first. So number one, if you're on blood pressure medications, make sure it is in your personal bag, in your item close to you, not in your checked bag, not in your overhead bag. All your meds, your diuretics, your heart pills goes into your personal bag where it's easily reachable but not easy to lose. And then also you want to assist your body's circulation by frequent movements. We're going to talk about more about musculoskeletal, but that does go hand in hand. And most importantly, that we want to avoid blood clots because we're in a certain position for a long time. There are certain exercises where we can do like heel and toe pumps. Going to go over it really quick, and you also want to move around every 6 to 9 minutes if possible. I know choosing your seat is always number one. I myself like to choose the aisle seat. That just gives me more room and I don't have to keep bothering the person next to me. You may also want to wear a compression stocking. Some people find it not helpful. For me, I'm kind of like on the fence right now because I'm trying to find a perfect stocking that's not going to bunch up on my ankles because I do have short legs. But you do want to lower your salt intake 1 to 2 days prior to your flight. That will also help with the retention of salt. You also want to reduce the amount of sugar intake because that can hold on to water. So maybe just a little fasting can help, and just make sure that you're not holding excessive water. There are also products on Amazon, which is kind of like a hammock where you can kind of raise your legs and it will kind of hold your legs and elevate them, especially if you have short legs like I do. I have in the past just taken my personal bag and moved it closer to me and kind of put my feet on there. Of course, take your shoes off. You can also put a blanket or two and kind of put it on top of the bag to give it more of an elevation. Okay, so this is one out of the 3 exercises you can do to prevent blood clots on your lower legs. So for my little feet, you're going to do foot pumps. We're going to raise your toes, then raise your heels, raise your toes, and raise your heels. Make sure you feel your calf muscles tighten there. You want to do that 15 times every 30 minutes while you're on the airplane. That actually feels quite good right now to get that blood moving. Now let's do some foot circles. You're going to lift your legs again and you're going to circle your foot or your ankle inwards. You can do this slower or you can do it faster. You're going to feel some cracking in the joints and that feels great. You're just going to lubricate those muscles and your joints. And then we're going to go around opposite direction, so outwardly motion 10 times each. You want to do this every 30 minutes while you're on the plane, while you're awake, of course. Next, we're doing knee lifts or knee marching. So we're going to lift, alternating each leg. You can hold it for support and hold it in place for a couple seconds. Or if you want to go a little faster, and you want to do this at least 10 times, alternating. And you also want to do it for about every 30 minutes while you're on the plane. In addition to doing those 3 little exercises, keep yourself hydrated. You also want to get out of your chair every hour if possible and move around. You can do your stretches there too. That helps with circulation. You also want to wear comfortable clothing. So right now, if you can see, I have yoga pants and they're not too tight. I actually bought them a size bigger so they're not too tight. Also from the Dollar Tree, I did buy some leggings. They are fleece lined. They are so comfortable. They might be a little bit longer for me, but they're one of the best ways to travel. You can also wear loose pants, not something that's going to drag on the floor because you don't want to get it dirty as you use the bathroom, but you want something to be comfortable in, something that you can wear pretty much all day. I don't suggest pajamas, but if that's your thing, you can wear it as long as it doesn't impede your circulation, and just make sure you don't lean forward too long because leaning forward can also impede your circulation here right at the groin. Okay, so let's talk about respiratory or the respiratory system and any common problems that can happen on the airplane. People are genuinely concerned about the quality of the air in the airplane, and because we're in such tight quarters, we are concerned about getting a sickness from the person next to us. But just to let you know, 50% of the air in the cabin can get filtered in a HEPA filter 20 to 30 times per hour. So the HEPA filter is a very good filter that we use also in the hospital, especially in the OR setting, and that will take care of fungi, bacteria, viruses. So just imagine 50% of the air being circulated, it's going to go pretty fast, so the whole entire cabin gets filtered and it's pretty clean. You can wear a respiratory mask if you want to, but if you're truly concerned, only the N95 will prevent any of those viruses that people are concerned about. Also, because we are in an area that's going to be about roughly 8,000 feet of pressure in the cabin, you are going to have a little pressure. And just make sure with your doctor that it's okay for you to fly, especially if you have any chronic diseases like COPD or asthma, emphysema, even a chronic smoker. Maybe you're not short of breath now, but it could change when you're up in the air and it's going to be an emergency situation. So see your doctor ahead of time. To that, again, just like your cardiovascular meds, you have your respiratory meds with you in a personal bag. I suggest a little fanny pack so it's on you at all times. You can also put it in a jacket. Make sure it's zippered and you don't lose your medications. I did read about where a passenger had shortness of breath and they were trying to use their inhaler and could not coordinate their inspiration and their expiration. So they actually made a homemade spacer. They took an empty water bottle, cut the hole at the end of it, and then used that as a delivery system so you're not coordinating your inspiration, expiration. And so that person was able to take their inhaler dose more effectively than just using the aerosol inhaler. In addition, the air is very dry in the cabin because most of that air is really coming through bled air through the engine system, and that air is very dry. In addition, I have a product for you guys that may help you with the respiratory system as well. I will be making a products video, so I'm not going to go in depth with this, but basically this is a face mister and it can deliver nice, cool, humidified air because the airplane is very, very dry. Not only is it good for the integumentary system, which I'll be talking about later, that's the skin, but this is also good for the respiratory system because it actually can help you breathe a little bit better. It's also good as a distractor because it feels so nice. So if you're anxious and you need a distractor and you need something that you are familiar with or that feels great, I would suggest this little humidifier right here, or this facial mister, and I will link it in the description below. Now we're going down to the GU tract, and everybody has an issue. It's gas, guys. It's gas. So no matter where you are, you're going to create gas, whether it's belching or it's flatulence, which is going out of your colon into your rectum. You're going to have it. So one way to quietly pass that gas out without being so noisy. I'm going to go over more medical stuff, but I just want to get this to you first. Take a towel, bring a towel with you, lay it on your seat, spray it with your favorite scent, perfume, whatever you have. And when you need to go, it's going to go quietly into your towel. I've done that many times. I am a very gassy person, TMI. So that's what I've done, and it is quieter and it doesn't spread the smell so much. Now, why do you have gas? Well, you have undigested carbohydrates that lead to gas production. Some of the things that you eat: milk and in cheeses and in yogurts, beans, onions, garlic, spicy fatty foods, and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. Try to avoid those before the flight. You can also do a little fasting. I also suggest a probiotic to take maybe even a few days before your flight. And talking about barometric pressures, you are going to have gases expand more as you go higher in altitude. You're going to feel gassy because of it. So you want to eat smaller, more frequent meals. You want to chew your food well. You also want to drink water, but be careful not to drink so much air. In addition, you want to avoid drinks that are carbonated. I know this is a hard one because we all love our sodas and our carbonated drinks. So try to avoid them if you can. But again, use the towel trick like I showed you, or try to belch it up and get it out that way so you're not passing it the other way. Also, chewing gum or candy can kind of increase peristalsis, so you might want to not to do that so much, especially when you're already feeling like something is about to explode. Now, just a couple of over-the-counter medications. Simethicone is good for basically getting the gas together and expelling it out, so it's easier to expel. So you can take that. Those are chewables. You can also take a medication called Beano. That might be similar to simethicone though. And then if you have difficulty breaking down lactose, then definitely bring your enzymes with you so you can take your dairy products and not be so gassy on the plane. Another recommendation for gas is Pepto-Bismol. Again, check with your doctor, and you can ask your doctor for specific medications when it comes to this. And of course, if you have to do your duty, because again, it's inevitable, then what I've heard or what I've seen on a video is useful, because these toilets have a very strong suction. So you take a couple of the toilet seat covers, you're going to put it in there first. Don't worry, you're not going to clog it. You're going to do your dirty business, and then you can close the lid and you flush. And instead of it trying to take your products and smear on the side of the toilet, I'm sorry, it's TMI, it's going to pull that Kleenex. All your products are going to get sucked in. It is a true hack. You can watch another video, which I will also link below, because it works. You don't want to be embarrassed, guys. And then if you need to use a spray, I did find a odor eliminator from the Dollar Tree, which I'll show you in a sec, and that does take out most of the smells. Otherwise, you can also spray your perfume or body spray. Just make sure that all those bottles that you bring on the plane are 100 ml or less for TSA approval. Now, moving on to the GUU system, since we are already on a plane and we are already nervous and we're trying to drink water to keep ourselves hydrated, you're going to have a need to use the bathroom more frequently. So I would not suggest to not drink water. You want to keep everything moving. Some moving parts make things work. So you want to keep hydrated by drinking your water, and you want to use the restroom. And as annoying as it is, you need to use the restroom. And if you're concerned about having a long line, try to use the restroom when it's not so busy. So before you get on the airplane, before you ascend, before the meals, not after, because right after it gets to be busy. But if you have to do your business, you have to do your business. Avoid any urinary tract infections and avoid any constipation. Including with the constipation, I did forget to mention this, you can also take some stool softeners just to keep things moving, and so you're not constipated throughout your trip. Now, for the ladies, guys, you don't want to hear this, you can skip forward. But for the ladies, to keep everything clean down there, I would recommend using a Perry bottle. I actually have one, and it's made by Medline. You can also get one on Amazon. They have multiple forms. I just like the classic little like white bottle or clear bottle with the white top, and they can last for a very long time. But I'll link a couple of the Perry bottles down in the description below. I'm going to show you a few exercises that I found helpful during my research to this video, but this is not a medical advice, and everything that I've showed you is not a medical advice. Even though I am a registered nurse, this is just personal advice, so take this with a grain of salt. Here are a few exercises I found online for the neck, back, and legs. Just to let you know, I am not a physical therapist, so all these exercises are just my personal choice. Some stretches that require more room can be done before boarding the plane, like lateral bending and thoracic twisting. Each of these, I felt 2 sets was good enough and quick enough before boarding. There should be no pain on any of these exercises. Slow the stretch or stop if you feel pain. Then the quadricep stretch was a little challenging. You can first rest your foot on the chair or grab the bottom of your pants to help you stretch the thigh muscle. Make sure you have a support next to you so you can grab onto for a better balance. The hamstring stretch was the most difficult for me, but don't worry if you can't reach the toes the first time, sit up and try again. To stretch the calf muscles, you can walk on your toes forward, and then as you walk backwards, walk on your heels. Make sure you have a good balance or you have something to hold on to. Now, while on the plane, you can do some neck stretches. Gently take a scarf and put it behind your neck. Pull that forward while you lean your head back. and you can feel a gentle stretch behind your neck. Make sure you do it gently and not forcefully. You can also do lateral neck rolls to your own comfort. Again, there should not be any pain, so a little stretch on either side of your head. And then you can roll your head forwards and backwards in a full circle rotation to relieve any neck tension. Shoulder rotations can be done to relieve tension in your shoulders and your joints. Forward rotations and then backward rotations feels very nice, especially when you're seated in your seat. You can also slow the pace and close your eyes. Feel the tension being relieved, almost like meditating. To help with your posture and your lower back, take a water bottle or a folded towel and place it in the curve of your back. Then tighten your abdominal muscles, and then you can feel the stretch on your lower back. You can also cross your arms over your chest and slightly lean forward to feel the stretch. A nurse's usual last assessment is the integumentary system or our skin, and on any flight, people do complain of a dry mouth and parched skin, and that is to do with the blood air coming from the engine. So, to combat this, we need to hydrate the skin from inside out. We drink plenty of fluids, and you will know that because your urine should be light yellow and clear. And then a good moisturizer is just as important, so look for one that can hold moisture for at least 24 hours. I like to apply lotion right after a shower so the moisture is locked into the skin. Also, bring a refillable water bottle with you. If you don't like plain water, then bring packets of liquid hydration, TSA bottle size of lemon juice, or anything that can help you drink more water and not necessarily soda, coffee, or caffeinated tea, as those can dry you out. You can also bring tea bags to cold brew your water. You can also bring chapstick, and that should be in your personal bag because your lips are also prone of drying out as well. Next, don't forget to use the face mister that I just showed you. That is a lifesaver and it feels very refreshing, especially in the dry air. The one I purchased in particular can use tap water or mineral water. And as an option, you can add drops of glycerin and add a couple sprays of rose water to help moisten the skin. You'll definitely feel like you're in a spa. Another thing that is overlooked during a flight in relation to skin is not wearing SPF. UVA rays penetrate through the airplane windows, causing a greater exposure to radiation because of the higher altitude. Clouds are also highly reflective of the UVA rays, filling the cabin with ambient light and making it an added exposure to radiation. You may not have a sunburn from the UVA rays, but the damage is definitely there, so wear a sunblock before flying and have a travel size sunblock in your personal bag. Lastly, don't forget to get good sleep before your flight because this plays a major role in how you function overall as an individual and how all your systems work properly together for a better flight experience. All right, so those are my hacks for flying and surviving a long flight from a nurse's perspective. From head to toe, we found our common problems, found our solutions. You can always adjust these interventions that meets your needs. And don't forget, this is not a medical advice, even though I am a nurse. This is just a personal advice that I hope you guys will take and it will be beneficial to you. I will be making another video with the products that I use and products I'll be bringing with me for my long trip to Indonesia because it is split into a couple of different trips. And I'm trying to mentally prepare as well as physically prepare everything I need for my long flight. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next video.